audio. Can you hear me, Louis?
Hello.
Good God.
Using a salt shaker and a pepper shaker to my phone.
Oh my God, Louis. That was, oh man.
Yeah, it's almost like owning an Apple product isn't.
No, it's my car is the problem.
Isn't it just works?
No, the problem is the car. All right, so
BMW, even worse.
Did
you not buy the app to have a working microphone?
Yeah. All right, we're restarting.
You're the one sending me that stuff.
We're restarting the stream again. Okay, so if you're part of the replay crew, again, thank you so much for supporting the platform. Please hit the like button on your way in or out. I really do appreciate everybody that comes through here on this. Just very, very happy to have you guys here. Let me. This guy parked right up on my bumper, like for real, for real. All right, so
you're trying to make me homesick.
Yeah, this is yeah. The more I talk about this place, the least likely that you're gonna want to come back here. I know that for a fact.
I was in a parking lot the other day, and this guy accidentally rubbed up against somebody else's bumper. He got out of his car, he looked at it, and he left a Post-it note with his name and phone number in the guy's windshield wiper.
Yeah, actually, somebody did that when they actually hit this car on my birthday last year, and they left their number and all their information. I was like, wow, I was astonished.
I know.
So yeah, let me go through the housekeeping first. This is episode 143 of Genius Take the Wheel. I am Dr. Evil Genius, and you want to tell the people who you are, Mr. Rossman?
I cosplay as a lobbyist.
That is the venerable Louis Rossman.
You are what you pretend to be.
Yeah, and I pretend to be a bodybuilder that is trying to earn his AARP card. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys an autopsy of my training and how that ties into the theme of today's stream and why I wanted Louis Rossman here on today's stream as well. So today's training, first of all, I drove Mrs. Evil to her 12-mile race this morning. Stupid early in the morning. Then I got to the gym about an hour before it opened. And I went, started doing my leg press thing like you guys know I do. Today will be the final leg press before a deload because I do need the deload. My legs and my body overall is starting to feel a little stale. Tomorrow is going to be my last hard lift because it's a chest day, and I don't want to do a light chest day. I did 4 sets of 9 at 455 on the leg press. Did not start out very good mentally, but finished very well. I then did the seated leg curl, 4 sets of 8 at 150 pounds. And here is where we start to get a little bit into the theme of today's stream. I was responsible. I had programmed in. Are you there, Captain Rossman? Okay. I don't hear Louis. I hope that you guys are able to hear me because I didn't change.
I was turning on the AC in my car because it's Texas, and if I walk out there, I'll die.
Okay. So I was responsible for 3 sets of 5 deadlifts today at 275 pounds. And then I started talking to one of the guys that I respect in the gym because he was deadlifting and he was videotaping his deadlift. And he was videotaping his deadlift with no shirt on. And he was deadlifting 5 plates. And After talking to him, he is actually going for his pro card. After talking to him for a while, um, my male ego kicked in, and I decided that I was going to try 3 reps at 315 today. And I did the first set. Well, I did, my warm up set at 135, 5 reps. My second warm up set, 5 reps at 225, and then I was just like, I grabbed the 25-pound plates, and then I put them down and grabbed the 45-pound plates in their place. And without using the Versa grips, I just went for 3 reps at 315, and I smashed it. And I just had a lot of inspiration from this trainer. And again, he's aided by some trenbolone and maybe some Anavar and some test or whatever. I'm not.
Is that the balder guy? Is that the bald guy that's kind of his like late 50s? Has that really old school
No,
New York
not that guy.
accent? Who's really nice.
No,
I miss that guy. He's such a cool dude.
Yeah, he shows up here. He shows up to the gym here. I probably see him, once every other month or something, because I think he trains at a different facility or at a different time than I do, because I'm usually now there very early in the morning. So after talking to him, my male ego kicked in, and instead of doing the 5 reps at 275, I decided to try 3 sets of 3 at 315, and I had a good time with it. So I thought to myself, I should be able to hit 405. I should be able to pull 405 off the floor, right? I'm just gonna grab the Versa grips. I had one of the ladies in the gym take the video, and I went to get it off the ground twice, and my body said, "Hell to the no, hell to the no," and I was starting to get upset. And then I said, you know what? I actually had the courage to try to get that weight off the floor. And I know I hadn't earned the right to pull 405 off the floor just yet. But let me see. And I was able to stir the weight a little bit. And I was just like, yeah, So I failed. I watched the footage of my failure, and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to be upset about it, because I used proper movement. I was very confident. I went into it like I was going to rip it off the floor. It didn't come off the floor, so fucking what? And I'm fine with it, because I went back to 315 with the Versa grips. I mashed the next 2 sets, and I felt no pain in my lower back. I felt no tension. My hamstrings were on. Yes, I failed, but I failed daring to do something. Catherine Anna Hauserman, how are you doing? I'm sure
My cats love your treats, by the way, Catherine. Thank you.
Oh yeah, let's go. We're gonna have a nice stream today. So I dared to be great today, and I was only good, and that's fine. I need a deload. My body was running to the ground. I had already done 36 reps on the leg press at 455, full range of motion. Mr. Rossman over here knows how difficult that is. So I was already pre-fatigued, and I'm trying to get close to my lifetime 1RM when I'm recovering from back problems and all that stuff, right? So I can't really be mad that I didn't succeed, but at least I tried. At least I made the effort, right? And so after that, I took some protein that tastes like Fruity Pebbles, and with your bright ass purple shirt. And after that, I warmed up vertical pull. Then I did 5 neutral grip pull-ups, 3 sets of 5. And then I did drop sets on the lat pull down, 165 pounds, 145 pounds, 125 pounds, 2 sets of that drops that superset, and then the neutral grip close grip. I did the neutral grip close. I did like 145, 125, 110. I did that for 2 sets, and then I did the lat pullover with the 40-pound dumbbell, 2 sets of 10. And then I did the easy curl, the easy curl bar bicep curl with a focus on the left bicep. 3 sets of 15. I want to say the bar weighs 15 pounds. It was, I call it like 32 and a half pounds per bicep, give or take. And then I did like these really stressful decline, um, full range of motion bicep curls with the 25, 3 sets of 10. And then I got out of there. But while I was getting close to the end of my workout, I got a text message from this guy, Lewis Rossman, and he had a very interesting story that I was tempted to interject into, but I was very glad that I did not, because it just turns out that the story that he just told me actually goes right to the very core of the principle of today's live stream, which is I am proud to be a failure, but I'm a failure that dared to be great. You want to kind of give your accounting of this principle here?
I'm a little confused because I always thought that I remember what you used to deadlift 405, and that was before you started doing anabolic steroids. So I was a little bit confused about that part. But the principle appears to be that it's okay to fail as long as you at least put in a good effort and tried. Not that you did something stupid like my max bench is 275, and today I'm going to try to do 4 plates and die. But if you try to do something that's reasonable, and particularly in my context, it was when you have the responsibility to do that thing that you're supposed to be doing, you signed up for it and you don't do it anyway. If you try, you can at least, if somebody tries, you'll forgive them failing more than you will somebody that does not try at all, particularly when that not trying at all affects other people that have no say in it.
Yeah, is your window open, or is your mic catching is your mic catching right? You just got to move the mic though.
I lost my phone. I had a thing for this filter, but I took it. He's an asshole. Anyway, I'm not inside that.
Some people were saying that the audio was a little bit crazy.
Oh yeah, I had my car AC set to hurricane mode because it's Texas.
Right. Yeah. Winter is coming here in New York, but it may not reach Texas at the same rate. So, I know that your story was very personal, and you probably don't want to put that out there in the ether. But the story that you were talking about really made me think about the excuses that we can allow ourselves to accept from ourselves. And when you live a life where you don't accept excuses from yourself, it becomes much more difficult to accept excuses from other people, especially when the stakes are so much higher. Hey, check out that pond, y'all.
Yeah, in my case, what I've learned throughout my life is that I have very little to no tolerance for people that can't do 2 things: take accountability or say I'm sorry. And it's interesting because I found that in my personal and business life, I wind up having this weird thing where I accept the people's premises when they're not able to say I'm sorry, they're not able to apologize, they can't take accountability for anything. And I've made the stupid choices to be in relationships with people that are completely allergic to ever saying I'm sorry or saying that they're wrong, or want to argue the meaning of people that will argue what the word of the meaning of the word ignore means in a dictionary for 20 minutes rather than say I'm sorry. And I realized that that was because I was conditioned from a young age to accept the excuses of other people who are not able to say that I'm sorry, or that are not. And I think I definitely went way too far in the opposite direction, which is, I take accountability and responsibility for everything rather than taking. And you've always said, you've told me you should say I'm sorry for the things that you actually did wrong, You should not constantly apologize if you do not think you've done something wrong. So I went way too far in the other direction because I was so afraid of ever being at a point where I I do not take accountability and responsibility for what doesn't go right in my life because I saw that if you don't take accountability and responsibility, you literally live in hell. Like I have family members that never took accountability, responsibility for anything. They always said how something was somebody else's fault, and I didn't understand until I was older. But then when I made the direct link to your life is literally miserable. You hate every single day of it. To you also believe that everything just happens to you. I ran in the other
Right,
direction because it's a much better, it's a more compelling story because it's at least one is a story I can change and the other is a story I cannot.
right, right. And one of the things that is kind of a meme among men is getting with women. They're allergic to the phrases "I'm wrong" and "I'm sorry," right? And I am very fortunate to be with women who do take accountability for the things that they do, but then I also have to make sure that I take accountability for the things that I fail to do properly as well. And that's how you keep healthy relationships, both romantic, platonic. The bond between the employer and the employee in both directions, father and son, father and daughter, mother and daughter, and all the other combinations that you could ever think of.
Yeah, there's nothing more annoying to me than people that can't say that they're sorry. It's always somebody else's fault. It's like, let's say that you're correct. If that's true, like, okay, fine, you win. It's like that Honeymooners
Mhm.
episode where he goes, heads I win, tails you lose. Okay, like you win. Enjoy your miserable life. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right, right, yeah, and you know, I, I think about when I was homeless and I went looking for my father. And I held on to this, and I didn't just hold on to this where it made him like more. It was more endeared to him because of this, but it also caused me to hold everybody to the standard that he held himself to, and that is when I went to go tell him about what he did, and he was homeless when I went looking for him, and he had nothing, and he went. I remember when I went to go visit him in the EAU up in the Bronx. And I didn't go there looking for anything but answers about who I was and the part of me that I did not understand. And he went looking around, his little one unit for any dollar he could find to put it in my hand, right? Like, obviously, the money itself was inconsequential. Um, but it was the fact that he was very contrite and he wanted to take responsibility, even though when he told me years later he didn't know how to be better than what he was because of all the abuses that he suffered. But the thing is that we would have never had the relationship that we had for more than 20 years until his death earlier this year. We would have never had that if he would have tried to give me a bunch of excuses. But when I went to go talk to my mom the same way, she really tried to pretend like she didn't remember all the things that she had did. It's not that hard to use a turn signal. Go ahead, Lewis. Lewis, we can't hear you.
Oh, I said
Can't hear you.
in New York, using a turn signal is probably part of your congestion pricing. And since you have a BMW, it'll probably be part of your subscription in 2 years. But no, yeah, but like what you said makes sense. Yeah, the idea, like, there's this very interesting selective amnesia. I'm sure she remembers all the things that you should be appreciative for, but she doubts all the things, but she forgets all the things that were wrong. And it's not like you. I don't think you're saying this because you want to say, yeah, you're bad, you bow
No,
down to me. It's not about that. It's about being able to
nope.
acknowledge what happened, so that you move forward and have a real relationship. And you can't. You're gonna have.
Exactly.
But the reason that most families have these, like, so happy birthday, Merry Christmas, so how about them Giants and all that kind of conversations is because they can't have the real ones. And like, you
Yep.
don't want to have those conversations. You want to be able to talk about real things, and you can't do that until you get everything else out of the. You can't do that until you get everything else out of there.
You nailed it, Lewis. You fucking nailed it, man. Because the thing is, I really, I just, as much as I want to connect to my mother, I just can't. You know, she's been hiding behind, this, oh, I'm mentally ill. I can't do anything. When you know she's capable, when you know that she could do all of these things to take care of herself, and you know that she's choosing not to, and choosing not to take advantage, take responsibility for what she did and did not do. Like, I don't want to browbeat her with I want you to just acknowledge what happened so that we can move forward, and then we can try to create a relationship that we can create a relationship that is based upon something new and functional, based upon us getting past what happened. But if we can't even acknowledge what happened, yeah, I'll come visit you, I'll give you a hug, and I'll, buy you a cheeseburger and all that other. It's not the same. I don't feel like I can have the same connection with her that I was able to develop with him, simply because he had it within himself to say, you know what, I messed up. I wasn't capable in these areas. I failed in these other areas. What can I do to make your life better today?
I mean, you're able to do more than I was able to do because I can't. If somebody's not willing to acknowledge those things, I don't even want to do the whole get you. I don't even want to do that. I'll get a cheeseburger with you, or I'll talk about the weather and the Knicks and everything else. I have no interest in it. I don't like small talk. It's boring, and if I can't have a conversation about what's on my mind, for whatever reason, then it's just I don't want to talk to you. And there are family members where I didn't do this because I had to learn at some point, if somebody's 70 or 80 or 90 years old and they haven't learned to take accountability or responsibility, something tells me I'm just not going to teach you that. Like, okay, you didn't learn it at 79, maybe at 80. And
Mm.
I'm not going to have a good conversation with them. I realize that it's either going to make me angry or them sad or me angry. So I
Yep.
don't bother. And the thing that bothers me the most is when people say, you should let it go. Why don't you forgive? This, that, or the other. And I think the important thing is you could have infinite capacity to forgive, but forgiving does kind of require an I'm sorry. If you never get the I'm sorry, then there's no point. Then this like forgiveness is not just something you do. When people say you should get over it, why don't you just get over it? You're holding on to that. You let this
Right.
whole take rent in your head. And I think those are the statements of people that are very, very manipulative people. It's a statement. Statements like that enable and encourage people who take accountability and responsibility for nothing to continue doing so. And the people that do that, they're
Right.
the same type of people to me as the people that will say, like the GM person will say you're a retard for buying a BMW. You deserve it. And then when GM spies on them and steals all their info and sells it to LexisNexis, then somebody from Tesla's like, you're an idiot. You bought a GM or a BMW. And then that person, it's like this. We kind of do it to ourselves. We allow, like, it's a way of encouraging bad behavior in others by making excuses for them. Yeah, like I have a standard for myself, and I think every man and woman should have a standard. Everybody should have a standard, and my standard is I take accountability and responsibility for what goes on in my life, and if you don't take accountability and responsibility, I don't want you in mine either. I don't want you in mine. It's a bad influence. I don't want somebody to forgive me or to move on from something if I have not talked to them about it. Yeah, like even the most basic stuff. There was this one employee that I had a discussion with one. Said, I didn't realize he was in the room. I had a meeting with everybody. I didn't realize he was there because he was hiding behind he was picking up drives or something under a table. And like, yeah, he felt kind of weird afterwards because I wasn't, I never invited him up for this a meeting. So I sat him down separately from everybody else after, and I said, I'm sorry. You've done a good job here. You deserve to be a part of that meeting. I didn't think to look back there because I didn't think. You earned and deserve better than that. You shouldn't have been isolated. And even what if it was carelessness? That's not an excuse because I could have looked there anyway. That's on me. And like there's a lot that could be forgiven if you're willing to say I'm sorry. But you can't. You should. People should not. Oh, are you still there? Huh. I cannot tell. I hear a bunch of weird static. Seditionalist, am I here? Hello? Hello? Welcome to Phone Mart. How can I help you? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying that I carry hatred in my heart for the people that are not able to do that. It's not hatred because people will use that as this means like you're holding on to it. They use it to shame you. It's kind of like if you're in a room with a bunch of people in an Italian family, hypothetically speaking, that are overweight. And you're the one person that's in good shape. You'll hear them as, "Oh my God, you're starving! Ita, Ita! What are you doing? You're wasting away!" And it's like I'm not wasting away. I'm just not eating 5 pounds of lasagna with oil for every single meal. So there are people that will say, "Well, you should you should learn to let go. You should learn to not hold a grudge." It's like I'm not holding anything. That's the thing. I'm not holding a grudge, but I'm also not holding on to a relationship with somebody who doesn't meet up to my standard. And I don't like when people will try to shame you for having a standard. There are too many people in this world that will try to shame you for having standards, whether for the employees that you have, for the bosses that you work for the people that you date, or the people in your life. Simply because we're related by blood doesn't mean that I'm not going to have a standard for you. If anything, I have to have a higher standard for you because it's going to be societally expected that I put up with all of your shit.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
sorry, my phone overheated, so it just like
Oh, no
told me to
worries.
go fuck myself.
It's okay. You have an Apple product. We no, you have an iPhone. We'll wait for your German car's engine cooling system to do the same thing soon. Unless you subscribe
Well,
to
so
the
basically
cooling
what I'm
fan.
doing, I have the max AC on now. I have the max AC on, so it just cooled off the phone really fast. So I'm just gonna blow super cold air on the back of the phone.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that in a convertible. No, what I was saying before you left is there are a lot of people that will try to shame you for having standards, and when they say you should let go, why are you holding on to that? That's that shaming language that I don't really like because it's not. I'm not holding on to something. I'm not saying that I'm going to be mad at you. I'm going to hate you. It's not holding on. It's the opposite. By not accepting behavior that's below my standard, by not accepting people into my life that don't take accountability and responsibility, I'm actually letting go completely. I'm not just letting go of being aggravated, but I'm also just letting go of you. And there's nothing wrong with it because I've had people say, "Why don't you let go? Why don't you move on?" You know, that happened a long time ago. What do you think you're gonna get from somebody saying I'm sorry? It's like, it's no. You're right. I have let go. I let go of all of it though. That's what the thing. They want you to let go of the
Of
part
what they
that is
did to
inconvenient
you.
to them. Yeah. You're supposed to
Exactly.
forget it. Yeah, you're supposed to forget about that. So I always try to take the standard that somebody's trying to apply to me and apply it to them.
Yeah. Yep.
So if
And
you're saying, well, that happened a long time ago, why do you care? Then I could say, okay, if that happened a long time ago, then why are you not able to say I'm sorry?
right. Like, and the thing is, we had a discussion not that long ago about, making sure that you're being courteous to others on the road. You remember that?
Yes, yes, yes.
And we were saying like, yo, if it doesn't cost you anything to get out of the left lane to let other people pass, then why won't you do it? What it's
Yeah, yes.
showing is a psychopathy. Is showing a deeper character flaw beyond just what they did that was wrong. They also don't think that it's not what they do that's wrong is not worth addressing. Well, we know that they would be quick to address the things that is wrong that you do. They'd be real quick to address that.
Yeah, just to clarify what he's saying. So I have a pattern of dating dismissive, avoidant women. Usually, by the sooner I am to saying I'll never do this again, that means the sooner I am to start in the cycle of fighting another one. And I was going out with somebody that I made a rational decision in breaking up with that he suggested I keep that I threw away weeks later because I don't know. I could show you a picture, but anyway. So yeah, so we were driving home, and it's like she's going something like 33 and a 45 that turned into a 55, and she's in the left lane, and people keep passing. And I just pointed this out, and she's like, "Oh, well, are they? I'm not worried about them." And I said, "Well, I'm not." And I said, "Well, usually the left lane is for people that are going faster or the speed limit. The speed limit's 45. It's turning to 55. You're going 35." And she said, I'm driving for the conditions. And I said, like, so here's the question I had. I said, well, a lot of people are passing you to get around. I used to ride a e-bike in New York, and I'm fully, the reason I got a really fast e-bike is because it's actually safer. If traffic is 35 and I'm going 36, nobody's going to do this to get around me. If
Right.
traffic is 35 and I'm going the 19.9 miles an hour de Blasio wants me to, they're going to try to go around me. And then I'm going to be, and then I'm going to be as dead as his political career. I don't want
Right.
that to happen. This is something that I'm kind of sensitive to. So I asked at one point, I'm like, let me just get around everything else. Forget about arguing facts, logic, any of this other crap. Let me just get to the bottom of it. I said, what would it cost you to go from the left lane to the right lane, seeing that there's so many people trying to get around you? And she said, nothing. I'm but you're still here. And then I said, for me, courtesy is if it costs you nothing to do something, emotionally, mentally, physically, but it would make other people happy. That's to me that's my definition of consideration. And
Yep.
I made a right decision in that moment to break up with that person, and I made a fucking horrible decision to go back to dating them later. But eventually, I worked my way out of it. But the thing is, if something costs you nothing, but it would make other people happy, then do you do it?
When
And
you
for the
told me
next
that
10,
story, my initial was like, get rid of her.
get the fuck out of
Because
here. And you were
yeah,
correct. There was
right.
a reason that
Because
person had
she's
been
so
alone their entire
inconsiderate
life.
about other people. She's like, well, I care about animals. That you know what I hate, man? I hate when I look at a dating profile and she's like, I like animals more than people. Well, you're the type of person that makes people like animals more than people. You're the problem.
Lack of self-awareness. But yeah, my thing is if something costs you virtually nothing, but would make other people incredibly happy. I'm not saying to be self-sacrificial. And in this case, this was always that thing where like I can't give in. I can't give in. Even its teeny tiniest things felt like, once I learned about this personality and everything, I kind of learned why these teeny tiny things were impossible to do, why they felt like you were giving up a part of your soul by doing something like that. And she went on driving the next 10 minutes in the left lane is just kind of a like that's who I am kind of thing. And
Yeah.
um,
And,
you know,
and the
that
thing is, like, when you meet people, Lewis, and the thing is, like, I think about the people that I've met in this life, and I think about the fact that I've always referred to myself as a very unlikable person. But when I look around, the friends that I've had, double digit years, right? And so, I think long and hard pause about like how I live my life and why people stick around in my life so long. And a lot of it is sometimes to a fault. I look out for other people, and I um, I seek out people these days that also look out for somebody other than themselves. Not exclusively. I believe that you should still prioritize yourself and your self interest. But whenever possible, if it doesn't cost you much to give something to other people that they can gain so much from, why not freely give that? And I just think that it's really cool to just see the smile on somebody's face or to make somebody's life just a little bit easier, right? Just to make somebody else's life a little bit easier or moderately easier for even minimal effort from me, why not do that? And a lot of people are saying that, a lot of people are saying, well, if it costs me anything, why should I ever do it? But then if there is a big flood, they want everybody to donate to help them get out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. That's just my take on it. I want to be around people that have certain kind of character traits that lend to making the environment around them better. And when I meet people that only really care about themselves, that's when I'm like, all right, you go over there, you go do you.
yeah, it's contagious, and you wind up being like the people that you spend time around.
Yeah. And I'm very careful about that, but I also want to make sure that I offer as much value or more to the people that show me that they value me. And it's not just, hey, how can I, do something for me? It's, or how I can get other people to do things for me. It's what kind of energy am I putting into the world that I would hope would find its way back to me because other people kept paying it forward, paying it forward, paying it forward. And it just so happens that somebody else paid it forward to me. And we just created a better environment for all of us to live in. No, I gotta make sure I cut you off in traffic so I can get home 0.0003 seconds faster than before, and I put negative energy into the world, but I won because I cut you off. And it's just like, ew, brother, ew. You know?
Yeah, I
You know?
have. Yeah, what the thing that I've learned into my 30s is I am very, very aware of people who use language that is designed to take away accountability or responsibility from
Mm-hmm.
themselves or from other people. Like
Mm-hmm.
I try the thing that I was talking to, you know, who I was talking to, a car individual, leave it at that. And the conversation I was having was, why is it, you know, he would say he felt bad when he would want to advocate for himself on certain things. This person wants to spend 5 hours talking to me about what's wrong in their life,
Are you talking about
doesn't
the guy
listen to
that
me on
fixes
anything.
cars?
Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
or rebuilds cars.
maybe. So
Okay, got
why
it.
is it that why is it that you know, I was, why is it that you feel bad having a standard for yourself when you would never do the things that you feel bad? Wait, let me rephrase this.
You
If
would never
somebody's
do the
doing
things that
X,
people did to you that made you feel bad.
yeah. So you feel bad saying no to somebody else when they ask something of you that you would never even think of asking of them. Like why? You know, like we have a lot.
we're not going to address the comment, Lewis. We're not going to address the comment. We're just going to nod.
Like there are a lot of good people in the world that are like the people that I've met that are some of the best people in the world also wind up being the people that are the most likely victims of people that want to drain their energy and want to take. It's always like this taking thing. It's like what I talked about in this really old video of when you see somebody's caller ID on the phone. How do you feel when you see that caller ID? That's a really really complex immediate calculation that a part of your brain is making that you're not conscious about, that's just taking account of this little abacus of every single time that you've provided to them and every single time you've gotten something back as a result of
Mm-hmm.
it. And it does that
Mm-hmm.
calculation very, very quickly, and it doesn't take into account your guilt. It doesn't take into account societal expectations of what you should or should not do. It doesn't take into account how it may harm your reputation if you're perceived as not picking up the phone for this individual. It doesn't take into account your career prospects. It just takes into account this immediate abacus. And it's actually an almost simply because it's making that calculation that way. I don't think that that's worse. I don't think that that's more impulsive. I think it's actually better that there's a part of your brain that makes that impulse calculation and will immediately cut through all of the bull of modern society and just goes into that that lizard brain section of what do you do for me? What have you taken away from me? It's almost immediate. And I think more people need to listen to that, especially
Yeah.
people who tend to be empathetic people, or
Mm-hmm.
people that actually people that are good people need to be very, very careful of that.
Right. And this is why, like, I think that the story that you told me earlier is so apropos because when you were telling the story, you made reference to your age several times. And the reason why that's relevant and important is because as we age, we do kind of figure out what does work and what does not work, right?
Hmm.
And so I um I look at I'm better able to understand who and when I should consider to let somebody into my life, how I let them into my life, and how close I allow them to be in my life. And I I'm better at recognizing who is genuine in their intentions and who may not be. And what I mean by genuine is not necessarily like if they're not genuine my way, if they're not genuine my way, then they're not genuine people. I'm talking about there some people are so far behind in life that they're really only in a position where they can take. They're not in a position where they can give to other people. And for me, like I've learned to understand that they may not be bad people, but it may not be the right time to have them in my life because I'm used to being the person that's always giving, giving, giving. And then there's no value that comes back to me. So people would make you feel like you are the person that's being selfish and self-serving when you've poured out so much that there's nothing left for yourself. So when you ask somebody to pour back into you, then it's like, oh, now you're just, you're doing quid pro quo, or you only did those things so you can get something from me. It is not even like that. It's that you took so much from me that I have nothing left for myself or to give to other people. So when I can't let those people into my life that are not in a position to give at all, then it's kind of like, okay, I'm not a bad guy because I said, you know what? I got to kind of hold you off at arm's length for right now. Right. Um, um, yeah, I've learned how to keep supportive people in my life that I feel free and open to support, because I know that when the chips are down and I'm like down to my very, very last, they're not going to let me die.
I agree.
Without, but check this out, Lewis. I fully intend to never be in a situation where somebody has to come bail me out. But I would love to be able to support people that I know, or that I presume to know, that if it really did go down, they would
They'd be
help
there.
me without actually having to call in that favor. Does that make sense?
It does.
But so many people want to call in the favor, and you haven't even introduced yourself and said your name. Is that Mr. Clinton or Blackberry?
Clinton, he's been trying to knock my phone down. I'm using a spray bottle to hold my phone up, and he's been trying to walk over here the whole time and knock it down.
Ah, okay.
He's trying to fuck up your stream.
Yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of a miscommunication with the stream. I'm sorry, the car guy. Um, my mods are very protective of certain phrases, and so the car guy, his first language is not English, so definitely give him a little bit of grace in the comments down there. Okay. Um,
What you
yeah.
said, I like the idea of I don't plan to be a burden on other people. I don't want to put them in that position, but I want people in my life that if I were in that position would not just stop answering the phone.
Right. Right. And the thing is, when you called me yesterday, um, I wasn't able to pick up, and I accidentally stepped on Mrs. Evil's toes because I was so not really cognizant of the world around me. Because you ever take one of those really good naps that leaves you um, just kind of dead to the world when you're trying to wake up from it?
Once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that fairly often. Um, and the coma is partly like milk induced. So she thought I was ignoring her or whatever, and I'm just like, you're really, like, my eyes were glazed over. I didn't even hear shit what you actually had to say. Um, but I really wanted to apologize for that because I really did not want her to feel, like she put so much energy into making the house a home, and then I go quiet, and she's like, "Oh, he's doing that again." You know what I mean? Like, I want to
Yeah.
make sure that I don't step on people's toes that have been there for me when they really probably shouldn't have had to be, right? And I really try to pay people back in positive ways. I try to be there for people when they need me, even though sometimes I'm just really just not all there. And when I got the text from you today, I was like, oh, that's probably what he was calling me about. Let me be proactive and call him, because it sounds like something major is going on. And then when you told me like everything that happened, I was like, oh damn, I wish I was in a position to actually pick up the phone if you called yesterday,
I know.
because
You
I
would
could
have if you
only
did though. That's what
imagine.
matters.
Yeah, I can only imagine just the blood boil, the rage in your. I can only imagine where you were based upon the details of the story.
Yes, yes. Fun times.
So I just want to let you know again, man. Like I super duper appreciate you, man. I know that some of my people here definitely, um, um, I know that, a lot of my viewers definitely like super appreciate you. Your viewers don't even know that you're live right now, but some of those that have supported me are just like, uh-oh, I see what? Lewis is there? Oh, yep, I'm right there. And the thing is, I've tried to point you to those people in your life, Lewis. I've tried so many times. Like, yeah, but these chicks that don't care about anybody didn't they rejected me. Let's roll it back a little bit. Look at all the people that hang on your every word because of the value that you bring to their lives. And there are people
True.
that support my stream because of you. Like, that's like degrees of separation. That's the kind of respect that you have earned in your years of giving free tutorials on helping people preserve their right to personal ownership through self repair. So, like I
Very.
said, and I tell people all the time that physical fitness is an allegory for life. And in the story that you were saying, you actually made a reference to me, and I was like, oh my God, right? But then again, the principles that we learned in the gym through physical labor, it sticks better. And then again, when you realize that you're no longer accepting of your own excuses, you're not going to accept the excuses of other people, you're not going to suffer fools kindly or as
True.
kindly as you did back when you were in these compromised situations where people were able to convince you that everything that happens bad in the world is because of you. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say there. I don't have.
Did I pull the mic drop on you, man?
Yes, it worked.
You know what I mean? But Lewis, man, I I I again, you're one of the friends that I have that I'm proud to know, and I don't really say that very often to too many people. You're definitely one of the people that I've been proud to know as a human being, whether or not you believe yourself to be a good person or not. Actions speak louder, right? Like when we were talking about your impact on people who suffer from mobility issues, right? And I was like, yeah, you're not being a very good Republican or libertarian when you're like out there advocating for people to be able to get motorized wheelchairs that are financially disadvantaged. You know what
We're
I mean?
trying. We're trying to get them to do it outside of Medicare and Medicaid.
Right. Because we know that
So,
those things, I mean, look at what the VA is trying to do to veterans. They're trying to get billions of dollars back from veterans while also saying we support our troops, America. And then every time they turn around, the VA and the military is trying to fuck the veterans up the ass.
pause.
Pause. But that's what they've been doing, man. You can't tell me that you support our troops and then treat them like that, right? So on the flip side, Lewis is like, I'm a libertarian. Are you really though? Right? Hey, I'm not a good person. I'm for big business. Really though? You pay your employees 40, 50, 60, 70% above market rate so they don't have to worry about paying their bills so that they can come to work enthusiastically every day. What kind of Republican are you?
Freedom. I think you make more money at the end of the day by not being a piece of shit.
You
I'm
know what I'm
greedy,
saying?
but that's my method.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, the car guy. Hey, man. I appreciate what you brought to the channel. Um, I'm always going to be willing to talk cars with you in the
What did he
future.
say? Why is he
Um,
mad? Why is
there
what
was
happened?
there was there was a misunderstanding. He was speaking in his native Polish, and the mods were like, "Hey, is he like disrespecting the platform?" And they timed him out a couple times. He was a little frustrated. But I respect whatever you do, the car guy. Um, so uh, my mods are a little overprotective sometimes. But I like you, and I enjoyed the conversation that we have. I enjoy the support that you've given, and what I'm saying. I want you to live a good life, and I want you to enjoy your Volkswagen Passat. That's what I have to say. Um, but yeah, Lewis, man, you've just been, you've just been like really, really awesome, man. And
Thank you.
I love how that doesn't really go to your head, because what that ends up doing is like and one of the things that I try to do, I try not to let the things I do for other people go to my head, because I always want to be constantly checking myself to make sure that I'm doing the things that good people do, not just having somebody say, "Hey, you're a good guy." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Now I can just go and just care about myself, right? Uh, I you get what I'm saying? Like, um, I always want to be making the effort and constantly checking my ego, checking my intentions, so that I'm doing the right thing for other people as I learn how to do the right things for myself.
Yeah. I've learned for myself that it would actually be beneficial if I had more of an ego. Because I've went so far in the other
Yes.
direction over the years that it's like I would rather I've no like I would rather try swinging in the other one and seeing what happens.
Yeah. 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 I'm definitely with you on that, man. I am going to, I'm just very, very, thankful. And you made a good point about the ego thing. I'm learning that adding a little bit of ego in small increments, so I can kind of learn the balance between having the the um, the confidence that I earned and not being a dick, and trying to uh, find that good balance. Because I remember one time I was talking to Mrs. Evil about um, this one chick that I went to try to date like a month or two ago. And I was driving her home from somewhere, and I told Mrs. Eva, I was just like, these chicks want me to like chase them. And I'm like, listen, I'm much too valuable for that. Like, if you want to deal with me straight up, cool. But I'm much too valuable a human being for that. And to be honest, look at how hard I've worked to become what I've become, from a professional, what I've become as far as my physique, the way, my appearance, the whole bit. There's no way in the world I'm going to be out here chasing you. I've worked too hard, and I just look too good for that. And you know what Mrs. Evil said to me? She said,
Hmm.
because Mrs. Evil wasn't really in a great mood at the moment. But she turned to me, she said, "You know what? I'm happy you said that about yourself." And it wasn't like I was saying that I was better than those women. It was that
You're better than the
I'm
person who would tolerate low standards. It's not
right,
about
but
being better than other people. It's about being good, better than low standards.
and recognizing that I'm better than I thought that I was, that I'm worth more than I thought that I was worth. Not that I'm worth more than I believe that I'm worth. Not that I believe that I'm worth more than I'm worth, but I'm getting to that place in my life where the self esteem has risen, and
Yeah.
I don't need to I don't need the validations of others to feel good about myself. But I am willing to take it if it's there and it's genuine and I earned it.
I believe it.
So, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just and I'm learning also through your trials and tribulations too, Lewis. I'm learning through, because again, you and I are really not that different when it comes to the kind of interactions that we've had with people and people that are supposedly supposed to be very close to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, man, um, there are a lot of times where I'm psychologically tired, but I really do try to put the effort when, you need to bounce something. Um, and I feel rewarded for doing so because I'm looking at the confident person that you are today. And I look at it as like, you should have always been this confident because you earned this over a decade ago.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I have a lot of respect for you, man. And I think it's only going to get better for you. I think business is going to get better for you. I think that, your professional life is going to get better because your personal perception of yourself has improved.
Yeah, that was very necessary, and I'm happy to. Yeah, you're a good influence on me. Thank you.
You heard
All
that?
this.
The guy with 2 million subscribers said, I'm an influencer.
I
Yeah.
said a good influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good influence, bad influencer. At least as long as you keep doing anabolic steroids and call yourself
Oh, you're saying that I'm a fake natty?
Yes, yes, sir, I am.
Oh,
You
yeah.
should say that one of the best compliments anybody's ever given me is saying that I'm on steroids. That has to be a really good compliment.
Yeah, it's a great compliment because even the guys who are on steroids at my gym, 3 or 4 of them have asked me if I was on gear.
That has to be very what's the word I'm looking? That has to be very validating.
Yeah, it is. They're like, dude, you got. And the thing is, you remember when I was training you, I was under 170 pounds,
Yes.
and now dude, I am creeping up on a legitimate 196 pounds.
God damn.
Right, like
Not a single burrito.
not a single burrito, not a single. I mean, I could probably do a burrito like in October through December. Uh, I could probably do that. Um, oh, I gotta ask you this question: do you like Fruity Pebbles? Pause.
I've never tried them before.
Okay. I will tell you that there is this protein supplement that I switched to.
Uh huh.
It takes it tastes really fucking good, man. It's from a company called Dymatize. They have a fruity pebbles flavor and a chocolate pebbles, cocoa pebbles flavor. Um, it's good, man. It's good. Um, it tastes really good. Their chocolate, their gourmet chocolate, is probably the smoothest tasting protein probably on this planet. The only downside is that it's a little expensive, but man, I'm really liking it, man.
Yeah, I gotta find something that's not whey protein. That's just been. I don't know what it is. I remember being lactose intolerant as a kid, and
I got the
I
fix
haven't.
for you. I got the fix for you already. Get Dymatize's ISO 100. So what I learned about whey protein isolate is that they strip out the part that makes your stomach feel like shit, and they only
I'm
give
writing this
you
down.
the actual whey. So that's why they call it isolate. So you don't want the concentrate. The concentrate also has the milk fats and the milk sugars, the lactose. They strip the lactose and a lot of the milk fat out of this protein, which is why it's a low calorie protein. The if the other way has made your stomach rumble a little bit, definitely take one of these isolates, man. It'll change the game
Wh-
for you on that.
Which flavor? Cookies and
Um,
cream sounds like. I'll take cookies and
I
cream.
haven't tried the cookies and cream. We were looking for it, but the gourmet chocolate is really good. I suspect that the cookies and creams are going to taste good because the fruity pebbles is really good, even in just plain water. It is really, really good. For real, for real.
Find online. Let's see.
It's expensive.
Oh,
Just letting you
the
know.
only. It's fine. It's more expensive to have to. Yeah, it's more expensive drinking
They
the
have a
other stuff.
Dunkin'. They have two
I have
Dunkin'
a
Donuts
septic tank, so.
flavors. They have two Dunkin' Donuts flavors.
Yeah, so it's weird when I see that because I was like I don't associate Dunkin' Donuts with fitness, and I get it. It's like it's just flavoring, but when I
Right.
see that, every time I go to the store and I see something like that where it's like where it's what is it? Where I see something that's obviously a dessert and like a dessert that I've been conditioned to believe is fucking horrible for you in a protein shake. Even if I let's say there's a place near my gym, it's just a place where they make their own protein shakes for you,
Right.
and they have all these different flavored drinks, and I just look up and it's like waffle cream whatever. I'm not drinking that, and I realize that that's just a flavoring that they put in there. But I'm in my brain I don't think of maple syrup waffles in protein shake.
Right. 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 So yeah,
If you say it's good, I will try it.
yeah, dude. And the thing is, like, I don't have like the gaseousness of it. My stomach is actually. I didn't think about how calm my stomach was on this ISO 100 until you talked about the discomfort. Because the thing is, I've been taking whey protein for years, so I've just kind of gotten used to it. Now I'm just kind of like, oh wait, that's right. I don't feel any bloating at all. Like it's actually pretty it's actually yeah, it's pretty nice.
I'm trying to figure out which one is the better deal because they do this thing now when you get larger
Get the
quantities,
five
people assume
pound.
that
Get
it's
the five.
cheaper.
Get the 5 pounds. You should probably get it from Vitamin Shop if you're gonna get it off of the website. Vitamin Shop has it a couple of bucks cheaper. Um, yeah, I missed out on a buy two get one free by one day from GNC. Kind of pissed off about that. But man, the protein tastes so freaking good, and I've read reviews on it, and basically, the only downside is the price. The price per serving is higher than others, and for the stomach comfort that I have, and how easy it is taste wise, both with other contents in it like gelato or we use collagen protein or other additives that might make it taste grainy or whatever. It keeps a nice consistency. It mixes well in water. It mixes well without a blender with just a shaker cup. It's just cool, man. It's just cool. GNC has the product a lot more expensive than Vitamin Shop. Vitamin Shop has the 5 pound tubs for $94.99 in New York.
Hmm.
But at GNC it's like 104.99 or something like that. I'm like, nah, son. I'll go and get it from Vitamin Shop.
Yeah, I see everybody has this one for $95. The thing is, I have a septic tank, and it costs about $15,000 to fix if it breaks. So even though this costs a little bit more, when you think about the cost of using that in the long, destroying my septic tank with the current protein shake that I have, it's actually pretty cheap.
I need to go duty.
It's actually yeah, this is the cheaper long-term solution.
Oh, word up, man. Yeah, it's good. I tried what flavor? Oh, I tried the brownie. The brownie was a very strong chocolate flavor that regular human beings, not myself, would really enjoy. Um, but I like the milder chocolate flavor. Their gourmet chocolate is legitimately a good tasting beverage, not a good tasting protein. It is a legitimately good tasting beverage. And then the fruity pebbles, I had to take a second sip. Like, is this really what it tastes like? Goddamn. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I hope.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I usually have this with just plain water, and what I've done is with the one that I have right now, it really has almost no taste. So I put a teeny tiny bit of this almond coconut coffee creamer in it, like just a tiny amount, just to give it some flavor. Because
Right,
it's literally it's like no flavor, no nothing, no fun. But I'll try this one. I usually just have it with water and a banana or some blueberries.
right.
I'm excited to see. I've
Dude,
been
I
trying to
mix
gain my
all
weight back.
types of shit in it. Yeah, I don't mix it. The ladies do, but got to give them that credit. But yeah, all kinds of stuff in it. I stopped putting ice cream in my shakes. I started using gelato instead, and it's a lot lighter on the belly too. So yeah, man. I
Well,
have a I
it
have
was
a plant based diet, and I use the whey, and I use chicken and eggs and fish and a little bit of beef every now and again. But the base of my diet is vegetables. And my stomach is so much better for it. Absolutely.
I'm happy. Thank you for giving me a good
Lewis,
suggestion.
yo, I mean, yeah, man, this is what we do for each other. You know what I mean? Know what I
Yeah.
mean? Lewis, man, thank you so much for lending the DEG channel a little bit of your time. I'm probably going to uh, link your name to it because I have to do the shameless plug so that I can someday get close to monetizing this channel so I can get 14 cents a month from having this channel.
I believe in
I'm
you.
really happy that Catherine Anna Hauserman was here and Traditionalists in particular because those guys have like really stuck by and really supported the channel just because you said, hey, this guy is a decent guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm glad that you were able to actually test out this
Excuse me.
streaming feature too. This is actually a pretty cool
I never knew
streaming
this
feature.
existed. Yeah, because like having to use StreamYard and also the crap and set up OBS on your phone, it's just like trying to make that stuff work is a pain in the ass. So realizing that
Yeah.
this can actually be done is really
Yeah,
awesome.
YouTube vertical, especially if you're only doing YouTube, their vertical stuff, from what I understand, is supposed to show up in the shorts feed, which is supposed to get more people to watch your streams. And you can, as long as your phone doesn't overheat like mine did in the sun, it's like it is actually pretty cool, man. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. I'm gonna play with my cat before he kills me.
Hey, yo, yeah, that was wild. Um, before you say something else pause-worthy, I want to thank you for coming on the platform here today and telling a little bit of your story and really committing to holding not just yourself accountable for what you're actually accountable for, but holding other people accountable for showing you just the baseline modicum of respect, uh, commensurate with their supposed place in your life. Is that a good
Thank
way
you.
to
Yeah,
end
and
it?
thank you for forcing me to have standards, or at least forcing me to realize the benefits of having standards here. It's been very
Yeah,
helpful.
word up, man. We will talk soon. Thank you so much for supporting the platform. And as always, if you believe yourself to be a strong person, you likely earn the right to, and that means you're absolutely correct. I will see you on Tuesday. Peace.
I thought you were about to. The moment you said "and as always" and you paused, I thought you were about to steal my catchphrase.
What is your catchphrase? You use your catchphrase, man. Use your catchphrase.
And as always, I hope you learned something.
See you on the next
You were about to.
video. Bye now.